search this, search that, copy, paste. No other way of doing it. It is you guys sit there and be patient. That's it.
Okay. So, all right. But you had to go through the journey yourself.
That's what it is. I just had to just manipulate it, play with it. Didn't work. Back to square one.
Okay. All right. Well, hey.
Hi, ladies. How you doing?
Hi, how are you, Omar?
Not too bad. Mark screwed up my afternoon, but it's okay.
I screwed up your afternoon.
My afternoon's all messed up now, but it's all right. It messed my stomach is in the knot right now, but I got my people working on it though. It's okay.
That's all that matters. As long as your people are on it, you good.
Sometimes, Mark.
Man, I tell you, delegation is a beautiful thing, though. When you get it right.
And what bothers me is though, we had it right. We were doing it right. The second one person drops off, everything went to crap. And that is something that we have to catch as business owner. Myself as a business owner, I need to catch that mistake and say, you know what? I'm plotting somebody's butt in that chair, and they're gonna have to do this. And where I just sit back and like, it'll figure itself out. No, it didn't figure itself out. Now I'm 7 months behind on stuff that should have been done in a drop of a button. It makes no sense to me. I'm so upset.
So that's like the reality of ownership, and probably Michelle can give you a whole lot of insight on how to handle those things the right way going forward, because that's really the challenge, right? I mean, Michelle, that's actually what your specialty is, right? Helping leaders be leaders. Did I get that right?
Absolutely right in the center of our wheelhouse. Yep.
Yeah. It's so critical that that's the case. Marvin, how are you, my man?
How are you? Hello, everyone.
Hi, Marvin.
Hey, how are you?
Hi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Awesome. This is an interesting group. It's like not brand new faces, but new faces. We haven't seen. Oh my goodness, what is today? This is like the weirdest day.
It's raining outside, Mark. It's an easy day for me.
Oh, is that what it is? I'm like Mr. Rasiopi. I've been trying to reach Mr. Rasiopi for days. He tells me how busy he is, and now he's on our call. Ken.
Hey, there you are.
I never expected to find you. In fact, I thought you'd be hunting me down saying, hey, Mark, I know I owe you those papers.
I committed myself to leaving my Friday as free as possible, Mark. And I achieved that goal. That was my goal for the week. See, I achieved my goal already.
That's awesome. You're winning already. That's man, if you can figure out how to carve out time for yourself every week, you're getting ahead of the game. To me, that's part of what ownership is all about. Finding your carve out. Omar's always on my case because I carve out one day, but when he gets old like me, he'll understand the importance of it.
Oh, stop! I think I'll be working harder when I get older.
No, then you're doing something wrong. But that's another story. So, hey guys, welcome. Since we got a few new folks here, not new, but haven't been on it a little bit. I like to go around the room. Sometimes I'm learning some wild stuff. I'm learning that people are watching this thing because I record it and we're recording it, and they're watching it on Facebook. And I've actually had people contact me and say, "Oh, I saw this and I learned this and I appreciate it." I'm like, really? Somebody watched one of the podcasts that I produced. Is that the right term? Produced? I don't even know what that I'm doing, and called the person that was interviewed and signed up for their services. I was floored. And then called me back and said, hey, it was one of the people, it was Tangela, she does credit reduction. Called me back and said, I signed up with them a month ago and my credit score has increased by 100 points. I'm like, what? So she was thanking me because of I'm like, man, well, this is real. We do stuff because I do it because I like it, but I didn't think that people would really like call somebody from it. But you never know, I guess. So, but anyway, so let's go around the room and talk about what we do and how we can help one another or help others. So I'm on my screen. I have like left to right. I'm going to start top left. I have Colette. Tell us about yourself. Who are you? What you do?
Okay, my name is Colette Ramsey Taylor, and I'm the owner of Fluid Financial Group. And what we do is we empower and educate women everywhere so that they can begin financial strategies to help them achieve their goals in retirement.
Wow. Nice. Succinct. That was 30 seconds or less. Very
I
nice.
was trying to impress you.
Very nice. And very perfect and well stated. Thank you. Michelle, please tell us who you are.
Sure, thank you. I'm Michelle Brown. I'm principal and CEO of Into Action Coaching. We are a New Jersey-based executive coaching, training, and consulting agency. We specialize in helping managers be better leaders and helping ensure that their retention and retainment of their employees, putting the right people in the right spots in order for business objectives to be accomplished.
Very nice. Very nice.
And doing a lot of diversity, equity, and inclusion now, given the climate that we're currently in, helping organizations, especially business owners, communicate a strong message of compassion around social injustices and racism.
That's well timed with all that's happening in our society in general, right? So nice, very nice. Let's talk about Omar Rodriguez. Tell us who you are and what you do.
My name is Omar Rodriguez, as Mark just told you. I'm a wholesaler of windows and kitchen cabinets.
Okay, good, very nice. And flooring. Did you stop the flooring?
No, flooring is we're rocking and rolling, but that's more project based. I like to just do like if it's a 5,000 square facility, okay, I'll sell it to you. But onesie twosies, not my thing.
Okay, all right, cool. Very nice. Ken Rasiopi, tell us who you are, what you do.
Yes, hi, Ken Rasiopi, company's Premier Merchant Solutions. We provide customized software with integrated payment processing and integration to third-party applications.
Very cool, very cool. And Marvin, you're on mute, my friend. Tell us who you are and what you do.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Marvin Vasquez. I have a digital marketing agency, and we help clients generate more leads, traffic, and hopefully convert those into sales and increase the revenues for clients.
Very nice. Very nice. Internet, I tell you, it's so much stuff when it comes to building these websites. You know, you think it's just a piece of cake, but to get the traffic and to get the the attention to it, that's the key. Probably am I right? Building it's the easy part. Making people find it is the butter hits the bread kind of thing.
Very true. Very true.
Yeah, I hear you. Cool. So glad to have you guys. I've been working on my tagline. Well, my little simple pitch too. I don't know if it's a pitch, who we are. So basically, I've been working on trying to come up with a simple one-liner. I help bring clarity to your business goals, and then I help you achieve them. So really, if I can do that, then I consider myself a successful business advisor. So glad to have all you guys with us. You know, it's been a crazy few weeks with this whole group, this whole mastermind session. I think a couple of weeks ago, we actually did, like, for the first time, we screen shared and we walked through what it means to have a launch party. Remember that? I think, Colette, you were there. We talked about all the steps. So I never did that on one of these things where we were all sharing and collaborating based on a document that we were given by one of our normal people who are here more often than not, Maria. And so we really had a nice idea with that. And I've used that tool that she created and modified it to fit me so that I can create my own launch event for my business rebranding. I think last week we did something a little bit different. We spoke with, Jonathan was here, and he was having problems with one of his vendors. We all were able to collaborate and give him some good advice. So that's always fun. I remember that time when we spoke with Devon and saved that client that he had. So I love the fact that we can all help one another to, do more for our business. It's not like we're just getting here yammering. Although I do a lot of yammering, we still get value, and some people are getting value from it. So I really, really appreciate that. And I want to thank you guys for just joining us today, and hopefully we can get some value that we can share with one another today. So, the way we've been doing it, I don't know if you haven't been on for a little bit, we've been trying to make it thematic. We've been having different conversations based on some thought process. Last couple of weeks, we talked about, I don't even remember. Believing in yourself, right? We talked about believing in yourself. Yeah. This week, I wanted to talk about something specific because, and the theme that I came up with was because I was talking to a business owner who was having an issue with cash flow. And so I found a quote and I thought maybe we can chat about it because it probably does apply to everybody. It's making more money will not solve your problems if cash flow management is your problem. What do you think about that? You think there's truth to that? Making more money is not will not solve your problems if cash flow management is your problem. Care to comment?
Yeah, I'd like to say something.
Okay, go ahead, jump in.
You know, whenever I think about things like that, I was thinking about Puffy Combs when he says more money, more problems.
Oh yeah.
And so, you know, because people like to talk about, well, you know, that person has more money than me and, you know, whatever, but it's all relative. And if you are not able to manage what you have, no matter how little you have or how much you have, then you are going to have problems. Adding more money to it will only complicate things. You have to be able to manage. You have to look at everything that you've got going on and see where the expenses, you know, things that you definitely have to take care of, or even in a business where you think about marketing, where, you know, some people, you know, they start a business and they start making a little bit of money, and yes, the bills have to be paid and you do pay those bills, but you still have to put a large chunk back into your marketing because that is what drives getting more business. So if you're not able to manage what it is that you have, then you're going to have problems. And if no matter what level you are, adding more to it is just going to complicate things.
Okay, cool. Any other comments?
Well, I like to have those problems.
More money, more money, more problems.
Yes, I mean it's. I think it's the same, right? I'd rather be with a lot of problems up here than a lot of problems down here with
Okay.
cash. But no, I totally understand the. For me, it's been an interesting ride since when I founded the agency in 2011. It was trying to always catch up to that cash flow, right? And and it was hard. And believe it or not, this has been the year. And as weird as the year could be, this has been the year that it's going to be surpassing the other years, and where I understand what cash flow is now, right?
Okay.
And
I like it.
And I really no, I really get that there's more problems when you have more cash flow, but I'd rather be in this situation where, you know, there's more coming in and seeing how I'm dealing with and keeping as much as I can, and working from home and working has helped a lot with reducing the expenses that were magically were just going through so many different places. I mean, you go out, you spend easily $30, $40, $50, you know, just in one regular day. Not taking a client out for lunch, just a regular day. Taking someone else, you know, in a meeting for lunch, it could really turn into $100 day and built into a month. That's, you know, it takes, you don't see, I wasn't seeing that. And now that I'm here, I see that, you know, the savings has really been, you know, really good just working from home.
Gotcha.
The cash flow has improved as well.
Interesting. Cool. Cash flow is interesting. I mean, you know, the reason it actually came to me, I'll tell you, I hope it's okay. I was working with a client, and it's about the third or fourth year that they have actually been profitable. And now it's time to pay the tax bill, and they don't have a dime, and they're frustrated. And they're like, you know, I might as well just get a regular job. You know, I might as well, this is just not worth it for me. I don't understand why this is so challenging. Well, it's not that you're not making money, it's that you're not managing your cash right. So if you spend all your profits before taxes are due, guess what happens when taxes are due? You're scrambling to pay taxes. Or what happens for this client is they went on an installment plan, right? They said, okay, I'll just pay it off over time. And that's cool. You can pay it off over time. But what happens the next year when you're profitable again? you owe more taxes.
Mhm.
Right? And so now what happens? There's this horrible cycle, but it all starts because you didn't manage your cash flow right when you make money. So one of the things that I try to specialize in is I have like this, and you guys might have heard of Profit First. Have you ever heard of Profit First? Anybody have that? It's just a book that was written by this guy. I think you've heard of it, Michelle?
I've heard the term. Yeah, I've heard the term.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's a book that's written by this guy. I think his name is Michael Michalowski or something like that. And it's just a different way of allocating cash. So I like that system. I've modified it to fit what I like. I think there are two types of people, right? There are people who just spend money as soon as it comes in. There's some who try to figure out how to hold on to it. So it's like some kind of a balance where as soon as the money comes in, you allocate it appropriately. And then once you do that, it makes life a lot easier for all the other things. So it's a mathematical thing. Taxes are funny, for instance, when we talk about cash flow management, because taxes are based on money you have in your hand at a certain point in time. That's what people don't realize. They say, well, I don't want to work extra because I'm going to pay more in taxes. You're only going to pay more in taxes because you got more money in your hand. So if you take care of that first, right? I'm going to put this money aside for taxes. You won't get behind the 8 ball. So it's an interesting thing when you talk about cash flow management. And I think a lot of businesses suffer when they don't manage their cash properly. And this COVID thing that hit, probably you see a lot of businesses closing. Even big companies, corporations have closed within the first 2 or 3 months. Now, why is that? They weren't managing the cash properly, probably. So they got debt and they have all these things that they couldn't keep up with. And so they end up closing their doors. So then how do we protect ourselves? What do you think are some things we can do to make sure that we manage our cash flow properly?
Mark, to what you were saying, what Marvin said earlier, all of us want to have if we're going to have the problem, all of us do want to have the problem when there is more money. But when you talk about taxes, that puts you in a higher tax bracket when there's more money.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why it's so important that we, that we can manage when there is less money, so that when you think of the proportions as they get bigger, you've already have in your mind that you're putting away money, certain monies for this and for that. You're allocating what needs to be allocated. And I think that's what the important thing is. And, it's a challenge because, I always think about when you first start a business. I had my other business for a long time, but even with now, with this agency, you still have to kind of retrain yourself, because you're just starting out. You've been putting out all this money to set yourself up, but you've got to allocate the best way you can in these accounts where you're putting away, because if you're not an employee where someone else is doing it for you, you have to take that responsibility for yourself.
Mm-hmm. Very nice. Cool.
Mark, I have a question on that. Yeah. On the different brackets, you're only paying the difference between that next percentage of that bracket that your income is increasing, right?
Yeah, it's called a tiered system, correct?
Right.
Yeah, so people don't. Yeah, it's not like, okay, if you're in the 20% bracket, 20% of every dollar is. No, it's a tiered system.
Right.
Yeah, and you usually see that. I mean, people always ask that about paychecks, but it's the same with taxes. It's a tiered system, correct? So, hey, Bruce, how are you?
Hello, everyone. Hi, Mark.
How's it going?
Sorry I'm late.
That's okay. I'm always late. I'm just trying to catch up. Bruce, do you know everybody here?
I don't. I'd like to meet them. I see
okay.
Colette.
How you doing, Bruce?
I'm doing well, thank you. Nice to meet you.
Nice to see you again.
Exactly, again.
Bruce is a real estate agent / broker. Are you still a broker?
I'm a broker. I'm an instructor, a licensing instructor, and a manager of a real estate office in Teaneck.
Very cool. So that's our neck of the woods, Michelle. He's in our neck of the woods. So nice to have you. Ken Rasiopi actually does credit card merchant services. Marvin is doing website development. So
hi, guys.
A diverse group here.
Hey, Owen, nice to see you again.
So,
nice to see you.
we were talking about cash flow management. Um, does everyone have a system for cash flow management? Just curious.
I do through you, Mark, but I can't say that. You know, I'm one of the offenders in most cases, as you well know. But you know, I mean, it's very valuable to have a tax account, and just when that money comes in, just take it and throw it right into that tax account, so you're not dipping into it before the year's out. You know, it's a very wise thing to do.
Yeah, yeah. I
Or,
mean,
or in the other way, have an account where that's all that you're going to touch, because you know everything else is protected,
Right.
or everything else that has to be done.
yeah. The profit first system is a little different than, you know, if you deal with strict accounting, it's not as hard because you just look at your balance sheet or your P&L and you know. But when what they do is like what they call it bank bank account accounting or something weird like that, where you actually take your money and you split it into multiple accounts. They recommend 5, 6, 7 accounts, and it's kind of cool. There are some challenges with it though, you know, because obviously the design is that you're going to almost empty out certain accounts. If you have an operating account, you almost might empty it out. So obviously what happens is bank fees and things of that nature. So there are some caveats, but I like the system. And if you don't have something in place, you can create a pretty basic system, at least to start with, and you can make it more sophisticated as you go. I'll tell you the concept if you're interested. I mean, I don't want to bore you with numbers. Otherwise, we can just continue to comment on how cash flow is critical. So
I would like to know.
you'd like to know? We'll give you the high level view, right?
Mhm.
Basically, what you're going to do is you're going to create on a piece of paper. You can do it on a piece of paper. The accounts that you need, that you are the buckets that you need most often, right? So you run a business, so you need an operating account. That's one bucket. You're going to have to pay taxes, so you're going to create a tax bucket. You got to live, and you want to live well, so you want to create your life bucket, right? Those are your 3 basic buckets. And then you're going to do an analysis of how much does it cost you to live, right? And how much your taxes are, and then you're going to assign a percentage to it. So let's just say you run something based on last year's numbers, and for round numbers, just to make life easy, we say I made $100,000. Okay, when all is said and done, I looked at all my home expenses and I spent $50,000 just to eat, right, to stay alive, and I spent $15,000 in taxes, right? So now we're at 65. That leaves 35 for the business. That's the allocation. So that means that for every dollar I make, 50 cents goes to me personally, 35 cents goes to running the business, the other 15 to taxes. And that's the basic premise of it. And then you can create smaller buckets as you go if you need to. Omar has inventory he manages. So he might want to say, hey, I run my business, but I also have cost of goods sold. I want to break out every dollar and then if you do it, if you break out your thing according to the percentages, you're going to watch that it flows pretty nicely. So when I'm doing one of these things for a client, I like to be, I like to go high on the living part, because in the end, if you're struggling with everything else, you find that this is just onerous and it's not going to work for you. You're gonna inevitably mess up. You're not going to be happy. And so profit first is really that. It's making my profit come first. If I'm working, I work so that I can make money and enjoy it. The only other thing that is probably deathly important is paying those taxes, because my God, you can go to jail if you don't pay your taxes. Whatever's left is for running the business. So then you say, well, wait a minute, I'm not meeting my bills for my business. Well, guess what that means? Find some ways to cut some costs. Find some ways to cut some costs. If you handle it that way, you can be successful in your allocation. So start on a very basic level and just do that. And what I tell people, the concept that's really challenging for clients, when I tell them, like if I don't really make the plan, I just give them this idea. They say, oh, but what about so-and-so? And when I have so-and-so, and they're trying to figure out the holes that are involved, because they're not used to taking money and allocating it right up front. But if you take it and allocate it right up front, it almost falls into place. It's almost like, if you were trying to, you have a glass dish and you want to fill it with water and you want to put in 100 rocks, and you fill it with water first and you put all the rocks in, it's never going to work, right? The water's going to overflow. But if you put the rocks in first and then you pour the water, you can get it just so. And that's kind of what this is all about. So it's a real cool system, guys. I mean, if you want to like just play around with some numbers on a spreadsheet, even one day, we can pop it up and do it. Ken and I have done it in detail. So he's got his specific numbers already laid out, but almost it's really about discipline, but it can be done. And it's a really nice way of making sure that you don't fall behind and you manage your business well. You can manage your business a lot better because, they say cash is king, but really it's cash flow. If your cash flow is messed up, then you are in trouble. So very critical that we manage cash flow properly.
Very cool. Thank you, Mark.
Cool. No worries. No worries. So we typically when we do these meetings and we have these conversations, we kind of just vibe on that topic. And if anyone has something that they want to add or contribute, then feel free to do so. Otherwise, we move on to our next phase, which is really about how we're going to make the most of the upcoming week in our business, right? The goal, obviously, is to keep moving. You had to, please, then jump in.
It's just so funny how, and I'm going to speak for myself, when it comes to talking about the accounting of our businesses, I know for me, I don't like to talk about it. I get quiet, and I was just looking, at everyone, and I'm like, and it's not that there's anything going bad, but that it's almost like something that we don't like to have to take on. I'm not speaking for anyone else, but, you rather do the marketing, you rather talk about this, that, and the other. But when it comes down to the accounting, it's almost like hard to hear, because it makes me feel like even if I'm doing a part of it right, I'm messing up, and so it's really hard for me, honestly, to talk about. It's almost taboo.
So does everybody feel that way or no?
I hate paying taxes.
Yeah, go ahead.
I just said I hate paying taxes. If we could take that part out of the equation, I'd love accounting.
Yeah.
But it's a necessary evil, right? But it's no, I used to feel the same way, Colette. It's like when and it's just no one likes to pay taxes, right? But it's something that once you learn the benefits too of it, it brings a lot of benefit to your business and to your person as well. So it's once you get it right, like Mark says, once you start getting the cash flow and everything else working properly with the accounting in your business, it works in your favor for everything, for a credit, for, buying a property or something. It works really good. We just got to worry about bringing more, keep paying those 15% or more. But no, it's definitely something interesting. And I'm just feeling comfortable until now talking about the topic as well. So.
Okay. Fair enough. Michelle, you were going to chime in too?
Yeah. So I can kind of definitely relate to what Colette was just sharing. Back in 2017, I had a phenomenal year, and my bookkeeper, Mark is now my tax guy, but my bookkeeper who does my monthly P&L put me on this bucket plan, and it was working perfectly when the revenue was coming in, because I was taking in the revenue and then dispersing it into these 3 accounts, and I was rocking and rolling. And then 2018 came, and like anything else, maybe you guys can experience or relate to it. There's ebbs and flows and seasonality to our business. Well, companies were not calling us to do coaching or training, and the income that was coming in, it just got wonky and very unpredictable. And, I had to take the majority of my income, or I should say revenue, to live, right? I call it my sleep easy. That's what I gleaned from my participation in the Goldman Sachs program. And ever since then, it's now trying to catch up. You know, I've got back taxes I've got to pay. But I love this conversation. It's great that I'm part of it because it's now representing me to, I've got to get back to dispersing that revenue into those buckets. And also if it's not covering what my life bucket is or my sleep easy is, then I've got to look to see what not only personal expenses I need to reduce, but also my business expenses, because otherwise it just becomes a cascade tripling effect. And I'm allergic to numbers. You know, I love coaching. I like managing and solving people problems for our clients, but numbers, it's like literally it makes me want to go cross-eyed. But as a CEO, right, we have to do it. So this is getting me represents to getting back in that habit so that I can get back on track with managing the money properly.
Yeah, yeah. I like that. You know, you said something very interesting too, because like you have your bookkeeper kind of created that bucket system for you.
Mm-hmm.
I think where a lot of accountants might fall short. I mean, it's also, well, it is what it is. That's accounting versus advisory. What makes it work for us is someone who's constantly holding us accountable.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and not the feet to the fire, but hey, we create these categories, we have these numbers, and so if we've discussed the system and we said, oh, this is the way it works, and we all agree that this is how it works, you know, hopefully you have someone who's saying, hey, you know, last month we did this. Did you do so and so? And you can say, well, no, I didn't do it. And then they say, well, why not? And you say, because I had to eat. Okay, well, fine. And then next month comes around, do we have the same answers? And if the answers aren't working, then we need to adjust it. I really think that a lot of the challenge, especially for people who are numbers adverse or don't like it, and it's understandable, is that there's no one coaching them along, helping them along. Like if you don't like to do the calculations and the recalculations, if you've got somebody who's helping you with that, that's fine. Your job is to implement, you know, but that person can help you to strategize and create, you know, and that's really, to me, what it's all about. And so accountants, we're good with numbers, but we're not always good advisors, you know, and I think that's the change that a lot of accountants are trying to get to, but they might not like it. Accountants, I think, don't like to, well, a lot of them that I've ever met, they're not great communicators. You know, they just, English is not their first language. It feels like, you know, even when I'm talking to them, sometimes they start talking about something. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, where you going with this? So I think that's the most important thing. You have your bucket. Cool. You're going to miss, just like everything else. From time to time, we're going to miss. That's part of it. But we could at least have someone say, hey, did you miss this month? It's okay. No, nobody's going to, but we don't want that to happen 3, 4, 5 months in a row. And if it happens consecutively 2 or 3 months, then maybe we need to look at the plan. You know, maybe we need to make adjustments. So I think that's really the key to making this thing successful. Trying to like remove the parts that really stink for you, make sure they still get done. And that way you can sort of kill both those, you know, I don't want to say kill birds anymore, but you know, you can accomplish both of those goals. So really the key is finding that person that you can work with so that you can always have that accountability. And obviously you want them to vibe with you. You don't want them screaming at you. Why'd you not do it? What happened? You know, you kind of want to find the right person. And then that makes it a lot more. Does that make sense, guys? Or what do you think?
It does make sense.
Yeah. If you you know, it's just really good to have somebody in all those areas. I wish I had somebody helping me sometimes with my own numbers. You know, I'm the one that holds myself accountable. It kind of works for the most part, but I'm cheap. You know, my brother's yeah. Well, you know, but it's one or the other. Either you're cheap or you're not. And if you're not cheap, then you know you're always behind the 8 ball. If you're cheap, you always, you know, you got to remind yourself, no, it's okay. You can, you know, you can get that extra chicken wing. It's all good. So that's
Don't
really
think
cool.
about raising your prices, though.
Bruce, man, you got me so far over a barrel. I mean, my goodness. I think I make about 50 cents an hour working for you, Bruce.
That's 25 cents too much.
Yeah, see, and that's why I'm losing all this weight. Look at me, barely keep meat on my bones. But no, thank you for your admission. I mean, I appreciate the honesty too, like saying, this really stinks for me. But in business, to me, with all of these things, you just customize the solution that's going to work for you. Make it work. You know what I'm saying? That's what we have to do as owners. We have to make things work. So I don't like this. How can I create something to make it work? Because this part is critical. Cash flow will destroy your business if it's not done properly. So whatever it takes to make it work, make it work. If it's getting somebody to coach you on just this aspect, maybe having your bookkeeper touch base with you on a regular basis, whatever it is, make it work. Hopefully you're not all doing your own books.
No way.
I know some of us are just starting out and we're doing our own books, but as soon as you're able, get somebody to do that, because you should spend that time building your business. That's one of the things that people do too much. Spend too much time trying to figure out how to save a nickel instead of how to make a dollar. Focus on trying to make the dollar. You'll be a lot more happy. And it might mean raising your prices, Bruce. Hey, let's we're at the 40-minute mark.
I'm good with the 25 cents mark.
Okay, I'll keep that in mind. I'll keep that in mind. A couple weeks ago, last week we had a few people here and they each had goals. I think I did this right. Colette was on my case about writing it down, so I've written them down and I have date order. Last week it was from last week it's just me and you, Colette. You had a goal. So I just wanted to chat about it real quick. If you guys don't mind, we always talk about the goals for the past week and what we can do this week to grow the business. So Colette, you said, and I wrote down, add stuff, website completion, add AD as an advertisement. How'd it go? You're muted there.
Still going. Some other things are just hinging, and so I'm in the process. The website, I've already completed the site. I just got to wait on some other things, and then I'm going to transfer everything over to that platform.
Oh, that's good. I mean, that's a big deal, getting the website done, right?
It's actually improved. I've kind of improved the look and added a few, other things in there. So
cool. So now that you can pat yourself on the back, go ahead and pat yourself.
I don't want to break my arm off patting myself on the back.
So then, now that you've been so successful with that, what's your goals for next week so that you can keep moving forward?
My goal, again, thank you for that opportunity that we talked about earlier. This particular IMO may have better opportunity for leads for me. Mm-hmm. So once I'm able to start with those leads, I'll start working on that. So we're going to be looking at leads and just trying to bring in some business as far as just the life policy portions.
Okay, so let me make sure I'm understanding this clearly. Next week, your goal is to start with the IMO, or what specifically?
Yeah, to get those leads and get started with them.
Okay, so you're going to purchase leads.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's going to take you a whole week. I'm getting pushy here. Is it going to take you a whole week?
I see you're getting pushy, so we're just going to keep it real simple for now.
Okay, all right. So you can get the leads. You're not going to make any phone calls next week. You're just going to get the leads, and then
I might not make phone calls. Okay. I might, just make an executive order and have my daughter make phone calls.
Okay, all right. I got you. Have phone calls made is the key. Right?
There you go.
Okay, cool.
We're going to be making phone calls.
Oh, okay. You care to put a number on it? I'm asking. I'm just asking.
Let's just see first how, what the process is with this particular IMO.
I like it.
Because I'm kind of the other one, the carrier that I'm with, I told you I had that problem with the leads where it's like,
yes, exactly. Yeah.
And so I still haven't gotten a response for the person who's over that portion. So I want to make sure, make sure I got the process down for this new IMO and these leads are good, when I purchase them and everything. So
nice. And resolve the last one.
Right.
That would be cool. That's cool. Awesome. So last week I was supposed to finish up tax returns. They're almost done. They're done. I'm going to say it's done. Right now I'm just waiting on the clients to make their meetings and review returns. I have one client that I have not completed just yet. I'm working with another CPA on. You don't have to like blow me up. Uh, oh, um, but hey, Mercy, how are you?
Hey, Mark.
Um,
Tell everybody how Mark still hasn't completed our taxes. It's been like 5 weeks already. Tell him.
Yeah, I just emailed him. I need it.
There you go, Mark.
You emailed me something that said tax. Since you're trying to blow me up, it said tax transcripts. Did you create your IRS account?
I'm refinancing my house.
Yes. We're
Oh,
almost
and by
there.
the way, everybody, this is my mother, Mercedes Rodriguez. She's the head honcho here. I'm just the Joe Schmo.
Yeah, right.
She's the queen. That's the prince.
Yeah.
So this next week, what I would like to do is I'm going to introduce this new renamed brand to the world. That's what I'm working on now, and hopefully, that's what I'm going to put here. Reintroduce brand.
The
And I don't know
newborn.
what that means. And hopefully that'll take place. It was actually supposed to happen this week. And
Are we going to do a launch party?
I have that written out, believe it or not. I wrote the launch party thing out. I'm working on it. I have 2 people who are working with me, and one got really sick. The other lost his uncle. So I was like, you know what? We all can take a beat. I need to breathe anyway. So I just want to wrap all that kind of stuff up. Cool. And hopefully we'll be successful there. It's all about moving forward, right? Doing something to move forward. So anybody else care to set a goal for next week? Michelle.
I am applying for, well, my plan by the end of this month will be to submit my application for the Minority Women Business certification
Nice.
through the SBA.
Mark, am I right or wrong that they give you like some type of tax incentive if you are a minority woman-based CEO? Is that something? Because I know my wife's aunt, they purposely put their business under her name because there was some type of tax incentive or some type of incentive they give you for being a woman, a minority woman owner. Is that true or false?
Let's hear from Michelle.
Yeah, can I share? We as the 51% plus owner of our business, whether we are a minority or a woman, we don't necessarily get the tax incentive. It becomes an incentive for the companies that we do business with. So it entices them to want to do business with minority or women-owned businesses because they get a tax incentive.
Oh, okay. Now I understand.
So given the current climate of Me Too and even Black Lives Matter, it is working in our favor because organizations now that have a diversity, equity, and inclusion initiative, both internally in terms of their hiring practices, as well as externally with the types of vendors, they are now, you know, it's beyond just a good thing for organizations to do. It's an economically advantageous things for businesses to do. So I want to, and it helps with the vetting process. You know, with the size of my business, doing business with an enterprise like PSE&G or New York Times or United Nations, I'd be low man on the totem pole, but now by nature of that certification, it will put me potentially in the top 5%.
Nice. Okay.
Nice. Very cool. And I remember when the last time you were here, you were working on like getting the documents in place. So it sounds like you're moving forward. That's awesome.
Yeah, it got delayed because I'm now getting a lot of calls to actually do DEI work. But now I've said, and I love these calls because the coach is being coached and being held accountable. So my commitment is to get it done by the end of this month.
That's awesome. That's awesome. That's really strategic. I think it's important, especially now. Right? I mean, it's weird because I'm going to digress. COVID, I thought, was really going to impact businesses, and like we were going to really slow down and grind and try to, you know, make it through this. That most of us are more busy than before. You know, I thought I was going to be, you know, home learning how to do some gardening, and my goodness, I just want to break. It's crazy, right? I know Omar was worried about the slowdown and busy. You know, you're busy, so COVID definitely. You know, I thought it was going to be one thing, and it's been very, very different. But still, it's nice because you're taking time to strategize for the next step, right? So we can be positioned for even more success going forward. So very nice, very nice. And Marvin, you care to share a goal?
Yeah, I just lost my majority in my agency. My wife is going to be 51% now. Thank you, Michelle.
Oh, okay, so you're gonna be.
Yeah, I will be 49%. It's okay. One of the goals that I have for this coming week, is to hire an intern, and I'm going to be I have 4 interviews set up with for an internship position starting in August. So that's my goal, to make sure that I get the right candidate after interviewing and get them on board for the first week of August.
That's awesome.
Mhm.
Awesome. Very nice. How about you, Ken?
Up here. Well, truth be told, I'm taking some days off this week, heading upstate New York. So my goal is to really relax. You know? I don't know
Really?
how it's gonna work out because I have my phone to my hip, but yeah, that's the goal.
Oh man, that's the best goal I've heard from you in years.
Yes.
Just for
yes.
you to slow down.
I know. I'm looking forward to it.
Hey, we got to take care of ourselves, man. I hope you. I hope your phone gets thrown in the pool. I'm sorry. You need to recharge those batteries.
Then my watch will ring. If my
Oh,
phone
my
goes, my watch will ring.
That's why we got to get you this tech so you can
Yes, you're
you can
right. You're
decompress.
right. I can go away with a clear head, right? Exactly.
Yes. So week after next, you and I have got to get together and get back on that plan. That's what
Understood.
I'm saying. I'm stating that today. All right. Omar, Omar, he's talking to Mama. Who you talking to? Ange there now?
You know how it is here, Mark. It's nonstop. Every 5 seconds, I got a question asked. Someone knocking on my door. Someone's here. I don't know. But
Yeah.
my goal for this week is Jesus Christ. I have so many goals. I don't even know which one to start with. I don't know. You got me on the spot, Mark, and they're just asking me to look at. There's like 15 people looking at me like I'm a fish in a bowl right now.
Mm-hmm.
Good question though. I don't know what my goal will be this week, to be honest, Mark.
Okay. All right.
Probably my goal is to prioritize my goals. Figure that out. Oh, there it is.
Hey, last week we had somebody who said the exact same thing. They were like, trying to figure out how to get my tasks in the right order so I can keep moving forward. That's important. Hey, I do that all the time, and I'm still trying to. I'll write out all my things that I want to do, and I can't get it done. It's something about actually putting the rubber to the road that's a challenge sometimes. It's like, oh, I should do that, but you know what? I'm going to do this right before I do that, and the next thing you know, a task is not complete. So cool. And Bruce, you have a goal?
Well, my goal is to just bring on as many agents, licensed agents, as we can. But it isn't just about numbers. It's about quality of the agents. Agents are easy to find, real estate agents. I assumed everyone knew what I do, but that's incorrect. I'm wrong. So that's really my goal. It's my goal every week, every day. Sounds easy, but it isn't easy.
So let me ask you a question, because I was speaking with another real estate agent, and she's been on this calls before, Maria, and she really has a nice dashboard for like, okay, if she's going to do this, their numbers. Do you have like numbers that you say, I want to bring on a new agent every week, and so I'm going to reach out to 4 a day? Do you do that or no?
No, but I want to bring on a producing agent. It isn't just about a body. Bodies we can get.
Make a suggestion?
Sure.
And we can have a conversation, Bruce, if you want, because I think I can really help you there. So for any of us, when we're identifying our goals, we need to use the SMART. Are you guys familiar with the acronym SMART? Specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time sensitive.
I've heard that, yes.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So Bruce, so you're talking, so to Mark's point, it's to quantify, how many candidates a week you want to talk to, so that you have that in your filter. How many candidates, prospective agents you want to talk to, because out of that you'll be determining, you know, whether they meet your criteria. So that's how you make it measurable. But we're also hearing, because I remember on a recent call, there's a quality of agent. Have you identified what the quality or what the skill or the competency is that they need to possess? So when you're interviewing them, you're able to determine whether they meet that criteria.
Yes, the criteria would be me evaluating
That's
them.
not criteria, Bruce.
Well, okay.
Anyway, I don't want to, let's have a conversation.
I'm happy to.
Yeah.
Real estate is hiring. You don't hire because they work for themselves. Real estate agents are commissioned only. So you need people with motivation.
It's the same thing, Bruce. I'm hearing what you're saying. I'm not going to coach you on this. What I'm trying to say is, regardless of what, they're not 1099s. I get that they're individual.
They're 1099.
I get they
Yeah.
are 1099. They're not W-2s. I get that. What we're talking about is there's a element of a characteristic that makes for an ideal and highly successful agent. So that's what I want to support you in identifying what that is, because there's a specific net, so to speak, that you want to filter them through that helps you determine, even in that, it's still an interview conversation, that you can extract whether or not they have those attributes.
And so that process, that SMART process, it applies to absolutely any and everything we do. Sort of like when I was talking to Colette about calls. How many calls? You know, it's that measurable, specific, not just, oh, I'm going to do so and so. I find that when we do that, we don't, you don't measure and you don't achieve a goal. So I think that's what Michelle is trying to say, Bruce. You know, you
Right.
say, oh, I want a good client or a good agent. Okay, so what makes a good agent? Okay, now write that down. Now, where do I find that good agent? Now write that down. Now this week I'm going to spend an hour a day finding the location of those good agents, and then I'm going to spend half an hour a day calling those people, and then I'm going to spend the next day setting up interviews. So that's what, like, you know, that's really what I think it's all about.
So here's the problem. A good agent either has their own business or is doing very well and with no reason to exit their business now and come over to Links, come over to
Well,
us.
let me quantify. Let me adjust that statement. Not a good agent, a desirable agent, whatever that means to you. You figure out what that is for you, and then you build off of that.
Someone who treats the public properly, correctly, with respect, and with the agent's knowledge. The combination of all of those things.
I think, I'm sorry, Bruce. I
No,
think
no.
that,
No, don't be
you
sorry.
know, I think that sometimes when we do things, we may get into a habit of doing things the way we've been doing it over and over and over.
True.
And I think just being open to a fresh look of what to expect or what expectations to set would be a good thing. And I think that it's really good that Michelle's even offering to, you know, help you to maybe look at some other ideas of what to look at or how to see in them what qualities that you can see in them that really might be helpful.
I definitely appreciate Michelle's the opportunity to speak with you and everyone. I enjoy this. It's an hour of learning. When you walk away, if you learn one thing, then it was a successful 1 hour. Just learn one.
Well, I learn every time I chat with you guys. I really appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, and so you have a goal. You said of bringing on licensed agents next week. Maybe your goal can be even, what are my steps? Outline the steps so that you can do that on a repetitive basis, on a continual basis. You know, if you were building a business, I would want to know each step that's involved in bringing in somebody, and then figure out how I can delegate those things even to other persons, you know, so that That's how you can make yourself scalable even. But the first thing is really saying, this is my system for bringing on licensed, good, desirable agents. So that might be a good goal for you, setting up your system.
Again, everyone is right, which I appreciate. The problem is a good agent is already, they're generally happy where they are.
Again, not that's why I said I'm going to change the statement to not a good agent, but a desirable agent, because
Yeah.
you are trying to do it. So you have to target your desirable agent and say, this is my system for getting desirable agents, whatever that is. I don't know what that is. No one here, none of us do, except for you. And so you can say, this is my system for getting to, it's the same with I'm going to say with sales. Marvin he works with business owners. What is my system for getting a new business owner in my door every day? You know, same with Ken. You know, Ken works with the restaurant industry. He works with the auto industry. What is my system for getting in new auto repair shops? Is that even my goal for the next few weeks? But he creates this system so that now he has a diagram he can follow. And then he can say, next week when I implement my system, I know according to what I need to do to get one new client, I have to call 50 auto agencies. So I called 50 of them and I measure my numbers. So what I think everyone is saying is just come up with your system. That's the key. Come up with your system.
And I think what's important also is if you've already convinced yourself that a good agent is not going to come on with you, then it kind of takes away from what you're trying to do. So when Mark is talking about a desirable agent, then they might have some of the qualities, and based on your training, then you're able to make them a good agent where they are with you. So you really have to be careful of the words that you're using when you're looking for people to come and work with you, because you said you're looking for good agents, but then you came right back and said good agents will not come to you because they're going to stay where they are. So you really want to be careful of that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So focus on the system.
Right.
You know, focus on the system for the upcoming week, and you'll have a lot of success going forward. Maybe not next week, but the week after and the week after, because then you can start implementing your system. Cool.
Did you get, Bruce, did you get Michelle's information in the chat?
I'm going to get it.
Yeah. We'll make sure.
I got the Michelle offer to.
Yeah, she put her email in the chat for you.
Yeah.
Oh, did she leave? I didn't see.
Yeah, she left.
She had to go.
We're actually at our 2:00 hour, so we're going to wrap it up now, actually. Thank you all, guys, for joining. And I hope you have a great week. Ken, I hope you have a good vacation. I hope you don't get one call just for 1 week. Just for 1 week.
From your mouth to God's ears, buddy. From your mouth to God's ears. It's
enjoy. And then when you get back, we got to get rocking and rolling.
Understood.
Ken, what business are you in?
Okay, I'm for the most part the credit card industry, but more so on the technology side and integrated customized software. So Mark had mentioned that we cater to certain industries. Obviously, the hospitality industry, although beaten down so much, we're coming out with a lot of very cool contactless. That's kind of the buzzword now in the industry, allowing customers to not hand their cards over anymore, and push more towards like Apple Pay and Samsung Pay and ways to just not have to hand your card over anymore. So a lot of the technology that we're building centers around how we're going to dine in this country in the years to come. Pay at the table, all that type of stuff. Come into a restaurant near you.
Cool.
Thank you. Good luck.
Thank you.
And enjoy your vacation.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate that.
Thank you so much, guys.
Everybody have a great week, a profitable
All right.
and a safe one, most important.
All right.
Absolutely.
You guys take care.
Everyone stay safe. Take care.
All right. Take care, guys.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you, everyone.